Welcome to the JayGravesReport College Football Weekly Preview, Week 3. Y'all know how we get it in, so let's get it in. Previewing the top 5 ball games of the weekend. Y'all know how we do, so let's get straight to the first ball game. Number 16, UCLA, goes to Lincoln to play number 23, Nebraska. Now, y'all remember, last year, UCLA beat these boys 36-30. Put up more than 653 yards of total offense on the black shirts. But let's keep it real. Y'all remember the black shirts was giving up tall orders last year anyway. They gave up 70 points in the Big Ten Championship to old Durham, Wisconsin. So, look, I will have to say that going to Nebraska is probably one of the most difficult places to play in America. The only place I can think of that is difficult to play that UCLA would probably be accustomed to is Austin Stadium up in Oregon. Anywhere else in the Pac-12, really not that exciting to play. No crazy places, but Nebraska playing at the crib got an edge in this ball game, and Taylor Martinez comes into this ball game throwing 6 touchdowns and only 1 interception. He still does throwing the ball, but he's playing at the crib, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Nebraska on this joint. And the black shirts may be the pink shirts, but they still should be able to win this ball game. Let's move on to the next ball game. Number 7, Louisville and the Teddy Bridgewater Show shows up in Lexington, Kentucky, and plays the dumb Kentucky Wildcats. Now, all these boys out here in America that holler and scream SEC, SEC. I tell you every week, the SEC is top heavy. You got Durham, Kentucky, which is the catfish of the SEC. The bottom feeder is getting ready to go and play Louisville and get the brakes beat off of them. Hey, Teddy Bridgewater coming into this ball game already in 2 games. He's already thrown for 752 yards. He leads the FBS with 9 touchdowns already. He may do a Peyton Manning this weekend, put up 7 touchdowns in Lexington, and go to the crib. Let's move on to the next ball game. Now, once again, we got another bottom feeder from the SEC. Tennessee goes to number 2, Parliament Funkadelic. They got to go out and play Dak and Marcus Mariota. These boys are putting up major yardage, putting up major points like they always do, and I don't want to hear nothing about the SEC. The SEC, you got top-heavy teams, and now old Doug Tennessee coming in 2-0, but they unranked, and these boys from the Parliament Funkadelic, they going for 22 straight ball games against non-ranked, unranked opponents at the crib. They're going to beat the brakes off of these boys. Let's think about this. Dak and Marcus Mariota have combined in 2 games for 489 yards and 8 touchdowns between the two of them. Let's keep it real, all the way 100, whichever comes first. These boys are about to play big-time ball this weekend in Austin Stadium. Let's move on to the next ball game. Number 19, Washington, coming off of a bye this weekend after they beat the brakes off of Boise State. I'm glad to see Boise State is finally playing true away games at the beginning of the season instead of all them dumb neutral site games or play me at the crib. Now, they went out to Washington a few weeks ago and got the dog snot beat out of them 38-6. Washington was smart, took the week off. Now they show up in Chicago. They playing this ball game at Soldier Field this weekend. After last week's Illinois had a great ball game, beat the brakes off of Cincinnati 45-17, took everybody by surprise. Is Illinois the real deal? We don't know, but we'll see this weekend. In my opinion, even though they put up 522 yards of total offense last week against Cincinnati, they was dull a couple of weeks ago against Southern Illinois. So, are they playing a big game? Were they playing outside of their minds last week? I'm still going to go with Washington on the road against Illinois. Now, let's get to the big ball game. Number 1, Alabama goes to Kyle Field in College Station and plays number 6, Texas A&M and Johnny Football. Now, let's keep it real or all the way 100, whichever comes first. They still don't have an answer for Johnny Football. He went down to Tuscaloosa last year and put on a show. He put up 253 in the air, put 93 on the ground, and scored 2 touchdowns. They still don't have an answer for him. And if you remember a couple of weeks ago, when Alabama played Tech, the offensive line was horrible. They couldn't run the ball, they couldn't throw the ball. Hey, Tech only gave up 14 points. They gave up 21 points in mistakes. They had 2 returns for touchdowns and a pick 6. Hey, I'm just going to say this. I'm going on record right here. Put it down. Mark the calendar, Playboy. Alabama goes down this weekend because Johnny Football still going to be doing the money sign on these boys this weekend. They're not going to have an answer for it. So, and you got to remember, folks that are familiar with the Big 12, Kyle Field is probably one of the most difficult places in America to play. Now that they're in the SEC, it doesn't change. They still got the 12th man. They still doing all the chants and calling and doing what they do. Kyle Field will be rocking this weekend, and Alabama goes down. Go to the joint. Check your boy out. Keep up with me all week at the JayGravesReport.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at JayGravesReport and holla at your boy.